Hello everyone and welcome back to Crawford Kana. Are you brand new to Lorcana and wondering, how do I even get started? Well, don't worry. There are so many people who feel the exact same way as you do. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what I wish I knew as a beginner getting started in the game, so you can dive right in and start having fun straight away. Section 1. What is Lorcana? In Lorcana, you're not just playing cards, you're stepping into the story as an Illuminaire. An Illuminaire is someone chosen by the Great Illuminary, a magical well of light that contains all of Disney's stories. With your magical ink, you have gained the ability to summon characters, items, and songs out of the Illuminary itself. But here's the twist. The characters you bring to life aren't always exactly how you remember them. The ink can create familiar versions like Elsa from Frozen as you know her, but it can also make shifted versions like Elsa, Spirit of Winter, new forms that can only exist inside Lorcana. Your job as an Illuminaire is to gather lore fragments of Disney's magic before your opponent does. The more you quest, the more lore you collect, and the closer you get to winning. It's kind of like you're rewriting and protecting the Disney stories themselves. Section 2. The goal of the game. Okay, now that we know the world of Lorcana and what it means to be an Illuminaire, let's talk about what you're actually trying to do in the game. The goal is simple. Be the first player to collect 20 lore. Think of lore like fragments of Disney's magic. Every piece you gather brings you closer to protecting the Illuminary and securing victory. The main way you gain lore is by sending your characters on quests. Each character has a lore value. When you exert them to quest, you add that much lore to your total. But there's a catch. When a character quests, they become vulnerable. They're turned sideways, and that means your opponent can challenge them on their turn. Therefore, every time you send a character when you're questing, you're making a decision. Do I race for the lore, or do I hold back and keep them ready to defend? So, at its heart, Lorcana is a balancing act. Do you push forward and try to outpace your opponent, or do you play cautiously and stop them from reaching 21st? Every game comes down to that choice. Section 3. The cards of Lorcana. Now, let's look at the tools Illuminaires actually use, the cards themselves. There are 4 main types of cards in Lorcana. Characters, these are the heart of your deck. Characters are how you gain lore, how you fight your opponent, and how you build your board. You see familiar faces like Mickey, Elsa, or Scar. But remember, the ink can also create new forms you've never seen before. Sorry to interrupt, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're en route to 1,000 subscribers. Actions. Think of these like magic spells. They're one-time effects. Maybe you banish an opponent's character, draw extra cards, or bounce something back to their hand. You play it, it does its effect, and then it's gone. Items stay in play and give you ongoing advantages. They might help you draw more cards, reduce costs, or add extra abilities to your characters. A well-placed item can completely swing a game over time. Locations. These are special places from Disney stories that you and your opponent can interact with. They add another layer of strategy, and some decks are built entirely around controlling locations. Together, these card types give you all the tools you need to build your strategy. Some decks rush to 20 lore with fast characters, others play slowly and control the game with items and actions. That's the beauty of Lorcana. You get to decide what type of Illuminaire you want to be. Section 4. How a turn works. Now that we know what the cards do, let's walk through the flow of a turn in Lorcana. Every single turn follows the same structure, which makes it easy once you've played a few games. There are 4 main steps. Ready. At the start of each turn, you ready all your characters by turning them upright. That means characters who quested last turn stand back up, and you can use your ink again. It's like hitting the reset button. Set. During this portion, you activate any start of turn effects which are listed on your cards. For example, Madam Mim Elephant has the ability that at the start of your turn, you can remove up to 2 damage counters off of her and then put them onto another chosen character. Draw. You can draw 1 card from your deck. Simple, but it keeps your hand full and your options open. Main phase. This is where the action happens. You can do a few different things in any specific order. You could ink a card. Once per turn, you can ink a single card face down in your inkwell. This becomes a permanent resource you can spend each turn to play other cards. You can play cards. Use your ink to play characters, items, or actions from your hand. Sing a song. Don't worry, you don't actually have to sing a song. I made this mistake the first time in my league session that I went to, and it was a little bit embarrassing. Your characters which have dried ink, they've already been on the field for a turn, can sing a song card, equal to the cost on the card represented in the top left-hand corner. For example, a 5-cost card can sing songs from 1 to 5 cost. However, there are some special cards, such as Powerline, which are singer cards. They can sing songs of higher cost, which will state on the card. For example, with Powerline, it's a singer 9, so it can sing up to 9-cost songs. Challenge. If your characters are ready and their ink is dry, they can challenge an opponent's character. This is how you fight back and keep your opponent's board under control. Once you've finished your turn, you say end turn or pass, and it becomes your opponent's turn. That's the rhythm of Lorcana. Ready, set, draw, main phase, and end turn. Learn this flow and the game starts to feel natural so quickly. Section 5. How to win. So, after learning the flow of a turn, the big question is how to actually win a game of Lorcana. The answer's simple. Be the first Illuminator to collect 20 lore. Lore is the magical energy you're racing to control, and most of the time you'll gain it by sending your characters on quests. When you quest with a character, you exert them by turning them to the side and add the number of lore symbols on their card to your total. That's your main engine for victory, but here's the catch. When your character is exerted, they're vulnerable. Your opponent can challenge and banish them on their turn, so every quest is a choice. Do I push for lore and now risk losing my character, or do I hold them back to defend? Sometimes winning means racing as fast as possible. Other times it means slowing your opponent down by challenging their key cards and controlling the board. That tension, do I risk for more lore or play safe to block my opponent, is what makes Lorcana exciting. Every single turn is a tug-of-war towards that magical number of 20 lore. Section 6. Getting cards to play. Now, if I'm a beginner, I don't want to stress about building the perfect deck straight away. The best way to start Lorcana is to grab a starter deck. You can find these in lots of different places. Amazon, local game stores like Geek Retreat, board game cafes, or even sometimes in shops like Tesco and Sainsbury's in the UK, or Walmart and Target in the US. Starter decks come ready to play with 60 cards, and they're designed to teach you the basics while still being fun and balanced. You just open the box and you're good to go. Once you've played a few games, here are the basic rules you'll want to know about deck building. A deck needs to have at least 60 cards. You can have a maximum of 2 ink colours in one deck. You can only include up to 4 copies of the same card. That's it. Super simple. So, my advice if you're just starting, pick up a starter deck, play a few games, and once you're comfortable, then start swapping in cards you like. That's how you learn the game and start building a deck which begins to feel like your own. Section 7. Where to play Lorcana. When I first started playing Lorcana, it was just me and a friend. We bought a starter deck each and played games against each other until we had a rough understanding of the mechanics of the game. That's honestly the best way to begin. Grab a deck, play a few casual games, and get comfortable with how turns flow. Once you've built that confidence a little bit, the next step is finding a community. Most local game stores run Lorcana nights, and you can usually find out by checking their Facebook page or just giving them a call. Don't be afraid to say that you're a beginner. Stores love welcoming new players. A lot of stores also run learn to play sessions where they'll teach you the basics and even provide beginner decks you can try out before buying your very own. It's a great way to meet other players, learn quicker, and really start to enjoy the game. If this helped you get started with Lorcana, make sure to hit that like button so more Illumineers can find it too. And if you're brand new, don't worry. I've got plenty more beginner-friendly guides coming. So subscribe and ring the bell and you'll never miss the next step on your Lorcana journey. Oh, and let me know in the comments, which starter deck are you picking up first? I'd love to hear what you're diving into. And if you're a player who's a bit more experienced, what would your advice be to newer players? See you in the next one, guys. Bye!